while Imperishable Night was a little on the quirky side for the series, it still felt like a natural progression for the Touhou formula. Today's subjects are just outright oddballs. First up, we have Missing and Immaterial Power, because that just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Let's see if a Touhou fighting game actually turns out to be a good idea, or if it just is a doomed concept to begin with. The premise is that Mist has rolled over Gensokyo, one that causes the inhabitants to eat, drink, and be merry, and overall hold non-stop festivals. As a character of your choice, your job is to beat answers out of everyone you stumble across, because an epidemic festival is the type of thing to warrant such wanton violence. Eventually, you stumble upon and beat down a little Oni girl named Suika because she's there, and solve the problem. It's a stupid story, but at least it isn't space rabbits jacking the moon. Of course, if you bothered to download or purchase this game, then I highly doubt story was your motivation. So, how does it play? Pretty darn good, actually. The fighters are the only canon game since the PC-98 where Zune didn't go solo. He recruited the talent of Twilight Frontier, a development group responsible for a number of excellent Touhou-related fan-made games, in a variety of genres. The result is a game that feels pretty darn polished. Here's the deal. Every character has a punch button, a kick button, a projectile button, and a graze button. The bare basics are the same as any 2D fighter, and as expected, each fighter has a variety of special and super moves. What sets this apart from being a generic Street Fighter clone is how projectile-oriented it is. Every character has a variety of ways to deal death from across the screen. In a lesser game, this will have resulted in one player being pinned to the corner by an unending barrage of death. But the developers give you an answer, the graze button. Use it and you dash in any direction, completely ignoring most projectiles. The end result is a frantic, fun fighter as much about great timing as it is about combo memorization. I'll quickly note here that I recorded the footage before I figured out how to get a controller to work on the game. Yes, I'm aware I suck. I'm trying to play a fighter on a keyboard. It ain't easy. Most of the modes are exactly what you'd expect, so there's little to talk about there, with the exception being story mode. Here you guide a girl of your choice through a series of enemies. However, what makes this interesting is that after you waste the enemy's first life bar, they'll use a spell card, which is a special attack pattern that has its own life bar to deplete. They're all relatively simple and repetitive, making it easy to get the pattern down, but dealing with a barrage of bullets before can and will wear you down. Typically, each opponent has 2 to 4 spell cards, so each round actually tends to last a little while. As is typical for the franchise, the music is excellent, with redone versions of all the girls' themes. In fact, I'll have an entire video just about those, eventually. The character portraits are greatly improved over Zune's artwork, looking far more professional. However, the single chink in the game's armor is the low-res character sprites. They're animated quite nicely, mind you, but the pixels are the size of a New York sewer rat, or an average fairy in Gensokyo terms. Still, it's a small complaint against an otherwise excellent fighter. Now on to the less remarkable of today's double feature, Phantasmagoria of Flower View. This is essentially an updated version of the PC-98 Phantasmagoria of Dim Dream, and is easily the black sheep of the Touhou Windows games. The gameplay is fundamentally the same as the previous game, only now you attack your opponent indirectly by attacking flower petals. The same rules apply, so just watch that video instead of having me go over a detailed description of how it plays. The graphics and sound are on par with the rest of the series, but for some reason my version lacked music through most of the game. I know the music exists, so I don't know if it glitched out or if there's something wonky in the settings, but believe me, it's kinda disappointing to play silent Touhou. Unless you're diehard or really want to play Touhou with a friend, I'd say skip Phantasmagoria of Flower View. Next time, we have one more tangent game to get out of the way before we go back to the main series. It's just a shame that both games are disappointing in their own way.